Welcome to Chasing Curiosity TV. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. The salt-laced wind whips across the rolling green hills of Batanes, sculpting the landscape as it has for centuries, shaping both the land and the lives of those who call it home. But today that same wind carries a new kind of tension, one that is felt in every gust and every shadow that passes over the hills. On the northernmost island of Mavulis, a Philippine flag snaps defiantly against a backdrop of azure water and endless sky, a symbol of sovereignty at the edge of the nation. Below, soldiers in fresh camouflage patrol a new outpost, their eyes fixed on the horizon, alert to every movement, every possibility. For decades, Batanes was a forgotten paradise, stone houses weathered by storms, honest people living simple lives, and breathtaking landscapes untouched by the outside world. But that Batanes is fading, slowly giving way to a new reality. Today, September 18, 2025, the islands are no longer just a remote outpost. They are a front line, a critical point in a growing regional conflict. The quiet is broken by the roar of military aircraft overhead and the relentless activity of construction equipment along the coast, reshaping the land for defense. Isolation is gone. Batanes is now wired into a global security network, its silence replaced by the hum of technology and the urgency of preparedness. Just over 100 miles north lies Taiwan, the epicenter of a dangerous standoff between the US and China, a flashpoint that draws the eyes of the world. By accident of geography, Batanes sits directly in the path of the storm, both literal and geopolitical. In Basco, the local airport now sees more military planes than commercial flights, its runways busier than ever before. Uniformed personnel are a constant presence, their routines now woven into the daily life of the islands. The Ivatans watch with a mix of pride and apprehension, knowing their home is now a tripwire for something much larger than themselves. This is the story of how a remote island chain became the Philippines' northern shield, a microcosm of a high-stakes regional drama, where the fate of nations may be decided. The world is watching Batanes not for its beauty, but for its strategic importance in a conflict that could reshape the century, and the lives of those who live on the edge of history. Batanes' transformation from a forgotten outpost to a focal point of national security is a story few could have predicted just a decade ago. The shift from tranquil isolation to a strategic military hub was both sudden and deliberate, reshaping the island's destiny almost overnight. For years, Manila's attention was fixed elsewhere. The northern islands were dismissed as too remote, too small, and largely irrelevant to national affairs. Tourists flocked to Batanes for its breathtaking vistas and serene landscapes, while the government largely left the islands to their own devices. This long-standing neglect preserved Batanes' unique charm and culture, but it also left the islands exposed and vulnerable to external threats. The catalyst for change came swiftly. Escalating tensions over Taiwan sent shockwaves through the region. As China's pressure on Taiwan intensified, military planners in Manila began to recognize Batanes' true strategic value for the first time. The islands sit astride the Bashi Channel, a critical maritime gateway connecting the western Pacific to the South China Sea, making it a vital corridor for both commerce and military movement. For China, the Bashi Channel represents a crucial exit to the open ocean, a route for its navy to project power beyond its immediate region. For the US and its allies, it's a natural choke point, an ideal location to monitor and potentially contain Chinese naval expansion. Almost overnight, Batanes was thrust into the spotlight as prime strategic real estate, coveted by both regional and global powers. The Philippine government quickly realized it could no longer remain a bystander in any potential Taiwan conflict. Its northernmost territory would inevitably be drawn in. The old policy of neglect was abruptly abandoned, replaced by a new sense of urgency and responsibility. A new doctrine emerged, active defense, signaling a fundamental shift in how the islands would be protected and utilized. The goal was clear: transform Batanes into a forward sensor and shield for the entire nation, capable of detecting and deterring threats before they reach the mainland. New facilities, upgraded infrastructure, and a permanent military presence soon followed, altering the landscape and daily life of the islands. Manila sent a clear and unmistakable message: Batanes is now a fortified bastion of Philippine sovereignty, standing guard at the nation's northern frontier. At the heart of this new strategy is the Mahatao Forward Operating Base. Named after the Ivatan word for north wind, Mahatao is a symbol of renewed commitment to northern defense. Located near Basco, it's more than buildings, it's a nerve center. The base supports military and civilian operations with an upgraded airstrip, naval pier and barracks for rotating forces. Modern communications and surveillance systems turn Batanes into the eyes and ears of the armed forces. The timing is no accident. China's military drills around Taiwan grow more aggressive each month. For the Philippines, a Taiwan conflict would spill into its territory. Mahatao is Manila's insurance policy, a forward defense position built for this scenario. It's lean, hardened, and dispersed, designed to survive and enable operations even under attack. Its value lies in intelligence, presence, and rapid response. Any hostile force moving through the strait must now contend with a Philippine military presence from the outset. Mahatao is the tangible expression of Manila's resolve. Batanes is now a military tripwire in the US-China rivalry. A tripwire force doesn't defeat invasions, it triggers a larger response if attacked. By stationing troops and building defenses, the Philippines raises the stakes for any aggressor. Under the Mutual Defense Treaty, an attack here could trigger US involvement. The Luzon Strait is a choke point. Control of Batanes is of immense value. Even a modest defensive force with anti-ship and anti-air missiles could make passage perilous for an invading fleet. The Ivatan people are proud but wary. Their home is now a front line and deterrence comes with risk. The green hills of Batanes are now a geopolitical fault line. Batan's story is a dramatic reversal, from periphery to the center of national security. For most of its history, the archipelago was a footnote, far from Manila's concerns. Infrastructure was basic, the population self-reliant, and government funding minimal. The Philippines' defense focus was internal, not external. The Navy and Air Force were underfunded. Spending on the north seemed unnecessary, until China's assertiveness changed everything. Beijing's island building and aggression in the West Philippine Sea were a wake-up call. But it was the Taiwan crisis that truly shifted Manila's gaze north. The Marcos Jr. administration recognized that Batanes' location was now a strategic asset. Failing to secure the north was an open invitation for adversaries. The era of neglect ended, investment and fortification began. Batanes became the northern bulwark of the Philippines' new survival strategy. The new military presence in Batanes rests on three essential pillars: defense, awareness, and aid. These pillars are not just military strategies, but a comprehensive approach to safeguarding the region and its people. First, territorial defense. Mahatao and Outpost create a credible porcupine posture to deter attack. These strongholds send a clear message: any hostile action will be met with swift resistance. Coastal defense systems, anti-aircraft assets, and mobile marines deny easy access to Philippine territory. The rugged coastline, now fortified, becomes a formidable barrier against any incursion. Second, maritime domain awareness. Batanes' location offers a unique vantage over the Luzon Strait, one of the world's busiest and most strategic waterways. Advanced radar and surveillance allow real-time monitoring of air and sea traffic, vital for both the Philippines and its allies. This constant vigilance helps prevent threats before they reach Philippine shores. Intelligence sharing makes Manila a more valuable security partner, strengthening regional cooperation and trust among allies. Third, humanitarian assistance. Batanes is in the typhoon belt, often isolated after storms. The region's vulnerability demands rapid and effective response. New infrastructure enables rapid disaster response, saving lives and aiding recovery. Military resources are now positioned to reach even the most remote communities quickly. These pillars work together. Defense forces provide relief, surveillance aids, search and rescue, and coordination ensures no one is left behind in times of crisis. The military presence is integrated with the community, building resilience as well as security. Training and cooperation empower locals to face both natural and man-made threats. Fortifying Batanes is about more than war. It's about a safer, more resilient nation. It's about hope, preparedness, and unity in the face of uncertainty. The strategy strengthens the Philippines from its northern edge, turning Batanes into a vital first line of defense and support. Batanes is now a watchtower, shield, and lifeline, standing vigilant for the nation and its future. The strengthening of Batanes is not a solitary Philippine effort. It's deeply tied to alliances with the US, Australia, and Japan, turning the islands into a hub for multinational cooperation. Joint military exercises like Ivatan are now routine, practical rehearsals for crisis. These drills enhance interoperability and demonstrate the Mutual Defense Treaty's commitment. Australia and Japan contribute training, patrol vessels, and radar equipment, reinforcing regional security. This web of partnerships creates a layered defense. Batanes' security is a shared concern. The Allied presence is managed, all foreign activities are by Philippine invitation and under its control. Bases are Philippine-owned, allies have rotational access, not permanent rights. Manila balances sovereignty with alliance strength, a delicate but vital act. The goal: collective defense without surrendering autonomy. Turning Batanes into a military hub is a double-edged sword. It asserts sovereignty, ends neglect, and strengthens alliances, boosting national pride and security. Upgraded infrastructure benefits locals, improving connectivity and disaster response. The military deters illegal fishing and crime, protecting livelihoods. But Batanes is now a high-priority target for China, risking missile strikes in conflict. The civilian population could be caught in the crossfire. Economic retaliation from China, trade sanctions or tourism bans, is a real threat. Manila must balance security needs with economic interests. It's a calculated gamble. Deterrence and alliances versus provocation and escalation. Geography is destiny. The Philippines cannot be neutral. Its proximity to Taiwan and the Luzon Strait means conflict would happen in its neighborhood. Inaction is not safety. It invites violation of sovereignty. Fortifying Batanes is a recognition of this reality. Manila must actively shape its security environment, not wish away the problem. The goal: make the Philippines a respected factor, not a passive observer. The question: will Batanes be a shield or a magnet for conflict? Leaders must strengthen defense and alliances without tipping into war. The stakes: the future of the Philippines and Indo-Pacific stability. The green hills of Batanes are now the stage for a defining moment in Asian security. The north wind blows, carrying change and uncertainty.